Hello, everybody, and welcome to Doc Success Formula Solutions to Personal, Professional, and Relationship Puzzles. Tonight, I got my girls on. I got my girls on, and we are going to be having a conversation about women and how do we support each other? How do we truly support each other? We're going to talk about why we don't support each other. Then we're going to talk about how do we successfully do this. Before we start our conversation, we are first going to let everyone introduce themselves. And so, no particular order. I'm just going to go how I see you on my screen. And so, well, you know what? I'll start with home. I'll start home first. I'll start with my home team first. So I'll start with Brittany, my little cousin, Brittany Presley.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany Presley. I am
I
a
can't get
local
on. I'm
event
here, but I
planner
don't.
in Volusia County
Are
area.
you on it? We hear you. Hold on, I don't think. See, this what
You can't?
Nikisha, you're on. She can't hear me. I'm gonna mute her so we don't hear her. And you're gonna turn your volume up, Brittany. You was kind of low. Turn your volume up. Okay,
Can you hear me now?
I can. Turn it up a little more.
I turned it up to the maximum.
Okay, go ahead. Say who you are and what you do.
Hi, I'm Brittany Presley. I am a local event planner in the Volusia County area. I'm also a Volusia County, well, Volusia Sheriff's Office now, dispatcher.
Okay, thank you, Brittany. Veronica Rose.
Hi, I am Veronica Rose. I am a online boutique owner as well as a life coach, a life purpose coach. I'm certified in that. Um, that's pretty much it.
Okay, Tracy Davis Oliver.
Hello, good evening, everybody. I am Tracy Oliver, and currently, during the daytime, I am an assistant principal here in Jacksonville at a local middle school, and at night, I'm pretty much a superhero because we do some phenomenal things in education. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Tracy. Simone. Simone, can you hear us?
I can't I can't hear you. It sounds very it's like it's breaking up on my end. Can you hear me clearly?
We can. So you may want to log off. We hear you clearly, but you may want to log off and come back.
Okay, I'll try it again.
Okay. And the farthest visitor, Miss Sharon Henry.
Well, good evening, Doc, and hello, ladies. My name is Sharon Henry, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia. Well, technically, not Atlanta, but I live in Georgia. Okay, and I'm the broker co-owner of an Exit Realty franchise, and I've been in real estate for about 18 years. My business partner and I are the only two African American women that have bought an exit franchise in the Georgia area. And we bought a franchise about 2 years ago. We just made a 1 year anniversary opening up. I'm a mommy, and that is my most important job that I do all day, every day. And I'm married and I have two wonderful children. And I'm currently part of NAREB, but I'm sure we'll talk about that a little later, right? Doc?
Yes, we will. We will. Simone, can you hear us now?
I can. It may be just on where I'm at in my house. It might be on my end.
So
But
introduce yourself.
hello everybody. I'm Simone. I am a realtor with Premier Coast Realty as well. I don't know if anyone else said that. Um, and let's see. Fun fact. Fun fact. I just came back from out of the country, so that was interesting traveling in this COVID filled world. We got kicked out of Antigua and never made it past customs. So so as
Wow.
soon as I did a lot of international traveling all on Sunday. So I was out of the country, back in the country. So that was definitely interesting, and then back out of the country as we pivoted in an entirely different direction. So definitely make sure everybody get their right test. know what the country wants. Um, so yeah, definitely a learning experience. But I'm happy to be on with you guys tonight, and we can talk about how we're all out here as women, as Black women, ready and willing to support each other.
Thank you, lady. I'm gonna try Nikisha. She keeps, I don't know. Nikisha, can we hear you? No.
Okay, I'm here
Nikisha.
now. I was having technical difficulties.
Okay, so
I'm here.
introduce yourself. Say what you do. Nikisha. Okay. She went on mute on me. Danette, go ahead and introduce yourself. Miss Danette Henry, are you frozen? Y'all in this technology. What y'all gotta do better with these Boost phones and cricket lines y'all have. Okay, we're gonna come back to both of them. We're gonna come back to both of them. When they come on and we can see them. Nikisha, can you hear me? Okay. So I'll wait. I'll let her figure that out. We got to get rid of those crickets, y'all. So I am Dr. Melissa Chester. I actually have the privilege of also serving as a managing broker for a Black-owned and operated real estate brokerage. We are the largest Black-owned brokerage in the state of Florida. And I know I am the largest Black female, the largest broker that a Black female runs in Florida as well. I am also the CEO and co-founder of a national nonprofit for Black educators called Black Educators Rock. And so I was just amazed at how we don't support each other. And so I was like, you know what? I was supposed to do another show with my other panel. I was like, no, I'm going to get some of my ladies together and we're going to have a conversation. Before we start that conversation, Tracy, better late than never, you want to introduce yourself and say what you do and who you are?
She's muted.
You're muted.
Can y'all hear me?
We can.
Because you're breaking up like we have a bad connection.
I think you guys are on I don't know if that's because you guys are on your phone and you're doing some other stuff with it, but it's on your end. Like I'm on a laptop, I'm on my Mac. And those of us who are like we're stationary and everything is good. So it has to be, it's something with what you guys are doing with those cell phones. Did you hear me? No? Y'all gotta do better with this technology. Danette, can you hear me?
Melissa, you are kind of breaking up.
I'm breaking up?
Just a little bit. You were. Say something.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, good. Mm-hmm.
When you call me Melissa, you know on this show I'm not.
You know what, Doctor?
You know that. You know we live. That's when we at the house.
Doctor, I'm sorry, Doctor.
It's just Doc. It's just Doc. Remember, it's Doc's success formula.
Doc. My bad, Doc.
Listen, Veronica and I go all the way back to Soul City Projects. Yeah, yes. Soul City Projects. We was tomboys. Well, she was never a tomboy. I was a tomboy, Sharon. She was always prissy. I was a tomboy. I used to play with her sister because we were the tomboys.
Well, I can see Veronica is just Miss Fly. So I can't see
she was never a tomboy. So let me not tell that lie. Okay. Well, Danette and Nikisha having technical difficulties. We're gonna move on, and so we're gonna talk. So, Ronnie Rose, did you talk about the fact that you also own a clothing line, that you have your own line?
Oh, no, I didn't. I'm sorry. So I do have an online store, and I also own my own clothing line called Significant Couture. Mr. K said. Significant Couture. And so yes, I have my own clothing line, and I also resell other labels, and I am a certified life coach.
Thank you. You forgot that part.
Coach. Yeah.
I brought on ladies who are doing their thing in different industries, different realms. And so I'm sure we've all had the issues of not having support from the people who look most like us. And so not only just Black, but also females. And so we want to have that conversation. And so I'm starting off my first question, and anybody can answer it first. what is support to you? What does support look like for you? How could I, as a fellow Black woman, how could I support you? What does support look like to you? So anybody that wants to answer can answer that question. Don't be shy.
I'll answer that question.
Okay, Ronnie Rose.
Somebody else said it first, Doc.
Oh, who was it? That was Tracy.
It was Brittany. I'm having technical difficulties over here.
Oh, answer it. I see you. Go ahead and answer the question.
Support is everyone is not able to actually support one another financially, but they can support you by word of mouth, by social media, by sharing the products that you offer to other people that may be possibly interested in your services. So that's what support is. That's how I look at it. As far as it can be sharing your posts on social media, like I said, telling a friend or family member about the services that you're offering. And then also support can be financially, as well as you may not like the services that that person is offering, but you can still support them and purchase
Okay.
it, give it to someone else, be a blessing to someone else.
Okay. Somebody else want to talk about what does support look like for you?
Okay, so this is Sharon. For me, a lot of times it's not physical, right? It's emotional. Okay. Someone can encourage you by sending you a text, telling them that you're thinking about them. Share maybe the word of the day, whatever that is, right? So words of encouragement. And as Brittany said, Brittany said, share your services on social. We all have a platform. We all have somewhere something that we're doing, right? And all of us are doing something different in another space and time. For me, it's real estate, right? So if you, when Doc has sent me clients, we sent each other referrals and stuff like that. So if you know someone that's moving to Georgia, wherever in Georgia, I have a team of almost 30 people. We can cover that state, right? So, and the same thing with the organization that we're a part of, that Doc and I are a part of. You share the information about the organization, and that shows me support. That's just how I feel about it. It's not monetary all the time.
Not always. So both you and Brittany both said it's not all. It doesn't always have to be monetary. Who else? What does support look like for you?
Well, this is Tracy from Jacksonville. And when I think about support, I think about different perspectives. You can be with someone or you can be for someone. And so I'm going to give you a personalized example. I just recently lost my dad. And so, yes. And Doc showed up to the wake, and then she showed up to the actual funeral services. So being for someone, even when it's not convenient for you. And so that's, you can give me, millions of dollars and, things and fine things, but the bottom line is being for me when I really, really need the support. And so I paid it forward. I have a very dear friend, and you may have seen it on son and her grandson last month in a tragic car accident. And so I was there with her this afternoon. I touched Doc, and so making sure that she had dinner and that sort of thing. And so it's the idea of filling in the gap when you are not capable or even able to ride the wave your own self. And so, and when you need that support, you'll know who your true friends are. So just know that is not just being with somebody, it's actually being for them. So that's what support is to me.
Thank you, Tracy. Can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. What's your definition of support?
Well, I think most importantly, we have to remember that support can be an emotional thing, especially for us as Black women. We experience so much on a day-to-day basis that other races and other females, they don't experience. They don't understand a lot of our experiences. And so when you have someone who can send a word of encouragement, who can, as Tracy was saying, show up and be willing to show out, be what you need them to be when you need them to be it. And that can be hard sometimes, because sometimes as Black women, we're going through our own things, we're going through our own situations, and it's hard to give of yourself when so many people are taking so much from you. And so if you can do that, if you can give of yourself when so many are taking from you, that to me is a real definition of what support looks like, from a female situation, from a Black female situation, from a mom situation, from a business owner situation. No matter what you're doing, um, if you have someone that can bring that to the table for you and bring it, as Tracy said, in the most inconvenient time, that's my definition of what support would be.
And when it's not popular, making sure that you support that person and stand up for that person when it's not popular.
Okay. Simone, you want to add to that?
I think, when I think about support and I'm listening to you ladies, and I think about the conversations that I think right now that the theme of support is something that is, for me, is really ringing true I would say over the last week, and not only with myself, but within my friend group. And so when I think of support, I think it's all of those things that you all have mentioned, but I think it's also um, support is something that kind of defines itself when you're in the moment, because it's going to be different for each person, because each person is going to need a different type of thing from you. And so support is not a one size fits all. I truly believe that you don't know what support you're giving until you're in the moment of giving that support, and you'll know what to do and what that person's needs are when they need it.
Okay, thank you, Simone. So for me, support is for you to support someone, you have to, one, you have to value them. And so in order to support someone, you have to value them. And for me, support is being my supporter up front. I know a lot of people who try to support me like behind the scenes. Like, if I'm doing things, they won't clap, they won't applaud me in public. They'll jump in my inbox sometimes like, oh, I saw what you're doing, or they'll see like something going on there, like, hey, well, I saw that, but I just, I do not like support that is hidden support, because I just wonder, is it authentic? If it's something that you can't say out loud and you can't say in front of folks, is it really support? And so for me, support is, you're unapologetically supporting me. It's not hidden. And also, again, just that support also for me is just making sure that you, like when Tracy said I supported her, Tracy was like, you don't have to come, Doc. I know how busy you are, but I value Tracy. And so I want Tracy to know that. And I know that time, we all know that time is something, money is money, but time is something you can't get back. And Brittany, Danette, anybody that knows me know that if I can be there for you, I'm going to be there for you, because you're never, ever going to have to wonder if I'm your friend. You're never, ever going to have to wonder if I support you. You're going to know that. It's not going to be like well, I think you're cool. You're going to know that 150%. So for me, that's the biggest thing. Is like, don't support me behind the scenes. Don't be quiet with it, because there's a reason for that. And so I always notice that about.
I always think you're one thing I can say about you is that you're so supportive, to the point that sometimes I will reach out to you and say, I need you to sit down. Because you're always like, I was here, I was there, I was there. And I say, well, when did you actually sleep? Because I think that I'm on the go, but you are cross town, cross the city. Sometimes I talk to you before COVID and I'm like, oh, what you doing? And you're like, I'm in North Carolina. And I'm like, well, when did that even happen? And so I think that you make a great point. I think that you are definitely a upfront and outline supporter of all things.
And as Simone said, that's one thing that's big for me too. Simone is somebody, like my girls, they check on me. Like I'm the one to check on everybody, but Simone is one of those people who she checks on me often. She he'll just send me and say, "Hey, go get you some lunch." And I'm like, "Wow!" Like so, and that's so important to me. Somebody again that shows me that they value me and they understand that that I do need support as well. So I do thank you, ladies, all of you ladies, for always supporting me and for supporting me in public. Right, it's not just private things. And that's why when it's time for certain things, I know exactly who to call because I know I'm like, oh, I know who I can count on. And so I just think that when it comes to support, um, I think sometimes people are afraid to support us out loud again because, which is going right into my next question. We grown, y'all. And you may have somebody else who does not support that person that's in your circle. And so now you don't want that person in your circle to know that you support that person. I think that's it a lot of the time that people want you to have issue or take issue with people because they take issue with them. And I think that that's something else that I've noticed. Like I tell people all the time, I don't have a problem with anybody. I'm sorry, I just don't. And if you have a problem with me, hell, half the time I don't even know it. People have to like my girl Cheryl was like,
You have to tell me.
We got a common problem with somebody though.
So
you know what, Doc? A friend of mine said to me, when someone supports you, when someone a private friend is a public enemy. You understand that? Okay? When you're only my friend in private, if you're only my friend in private, you are my public enemy. When she said that to me, I was like, well, darn. You know what I'm saying? I never really thought about it like that, but it's the truth. At the end of the day, if you can't stand up for me in public, I don't need you in private. I don't need to be your friend. Okay, because I'm unapologetically 100%. If I'm for you, I'm for you. And there's nothing that anybody else can do about it. If they don't want to mess with you, that's okay with me. But at the end of the day, that doesn't change how I feel about you. Okay, because I treat people on how they treat me. I'm not gonna not like somebody because Doc don't like them or Simone don't like them, okay? Because that's Doc and Simone's problem, okay? Because until that person gives me a reason not to like them, we good.
Was that like being an adult in high school.
Yeah. Okay, and I can't. I left high school a long time ago. I'm a little old.
You are not old. You are not old.
You're mature.
You're mature.
I like what Dr. Durham said. That was our pastor at one moment at Friendship. He actually put a post a couple of days ago, and it says the first sign of stupidity is inheriting other people's enemies as a sign of loyalty. Learn to think for yourself. So you do have those women who won't support other women because they feel as if they're being disloyal to their friends who, for whatever reason, don't like you. And as you said, Doc, half the time you don't even know why they don't like you. They don't like you because either someone they know don't like you or they just have their own personal issues where they really don't like themselves.
Right.
So they see something in you that they wish they can do, and so they just don't like you. But I like that because a lot of women will not support, especially women of color, will not support another woman. I have personally witnessed that. They would see something that someone have purchased from me, and they would say, "Oh, that's cute. Where do you get that from?" And they'll say, "Oh, Veronica Rose, or at the time, DMR Boutique." And they'll say, "Oh." You understand what I'm saying? So it's like a oh. So it was cute, and you wanted it until you knew who was selling it. And then I don't even know what the issue is, nor do I try to. Try to understand what it is. But that is sad because a lot of people of women of color would not support one another because of that very issue. because you feel like I'm being disloyal to a friend. And then to be honest, you don't even know why your friend don't like her.
Right.
So
And most times it's something from high
High
school
school.
to do with a man.
No,
It's all stuff that is like for real. You so okay, so half the time like you don't even remember. I just don't do her. That's my big one. I don't know. I just don't do her. Like okay, so you want me not to do her because you just don't do her. And I just no.
a
That
lot
makes
of
perfect
times,
sense.
miscommunication, a lot of times. Half of the time, it's just something that you could have straightened out, or somebody thought if somebody said this or that or whatever, as you said, high school, but you're grown. Everybody's an adult, and at the end of the day, it didn't even happen that way. It happened that way in your head. In
Sometimes,
your head.
and sometimes it's even simpler than that. Sometimes people just don't like the way you talk. Sometimes people just don't even like just the way you look. It's just the way you look. Or the way you walked one day down the street. They saw you walking down the street one day and they didn't like the way, or something you had on. So it can even be something as small as the way you walk, or the way you talk, the way you look. Or, I saw her, she had something and I would never do that. I would never wear that. I don't like her. And so it doesn't even have to be anything that you have remotely done. It just can be how God designed you that people don't like you sometimes, and that's life, unfortunately.
And Veronica, you need that post that you read. I need you to share that with me too. I'm sure it's sharing it on my social.
I wonder. I wonder is that to do with the fact that I mean, why is it magnified with us though, black women? What is it about us that makes that even like you said, it's people in general, but then it becomes magnified with black women. Why are we so
Insecurity.
I believe goes back to slavery, how we was it manifests with the slave owner playing us against one another. You
Mhm.
understand? So to cause confusion is always to have division. So we never had a united front because they always made the lighter person feel more privileged than the darker person. You understand? But in the eyes of anyone that is not of color, see us as colored. You understand what I'm saying? And so we continue that slave mentality. So that's why I truly believe it's very highly recognized in women of color, because we always feel like we have to compete, because that's what we have done from the beginning of time. Competing for the master's approval. I want to be the house nigga. You understand what I'm saying? And so we have that mentality. And so instead of embracing one another, instead of uplifting one another, we compete with one another. And actually, we're not fine. Some of us are not fine with one another if we're on the same level. We can handle that. We can deal with being on the same level. But as soon as we feel as if you're a little higher than us, then it's like a straight hate mode go in, and we try to take that individual down, or we start to downplay them, or we try to say little subliminal things of that nature. So it's like I'm really not okay with her being on my level, but I can deal with it because I don't feel like she has surpassed me. But as soon as I feel like she's getting, it's almost like a Saul and a David thing. Saul was fine when they were saying, Saul killed thousands. He was fine. But
David
soon as they said, but David killed 10,000, the jealousy spirit had, you know what I mean? It was like, how dare? Instead of embracing, because y'all on the same team. You understand? Y'all all trying to eat. It's enough money for everybody. He got upset because they only said he killed thousands, but David killed 10,000s. And that's how a lot of women of color is. I'm good as long as, Brittany. Oh, she got it. She did one or two events. Oh, but Lord, if she got 10 and I only have 5, oh, now her centerpieces are ugly. They her stuff look cheap. it's not here come the hate. You understand? Oh, why she getting all the business? She don't even know how to put things together. You know what I mean? So I think it's always been a competition because it's instead of just cheering that person on, knowing that this is her season and my season is coming, we want to break that person down.
That's it. Like Chantel said, I want you to do good, but not better than me mentality. That is so true. That is so true. And you called it then. You said it. It's definitely something that's I don't know. I guess it did start with slavery. And I guess so are we trying to say this just it's inherently in our spirit? Because the million black
But here's the question though.
they're nowhere near like us.
Yeah, but
When you say
sorry.
and here's a question: when you say, is it? I don't know. I don't know that it's just a Black woman thing, or is it just that because we're Black women, it seems like it is a Black woman thing based on our perception and our experience. And is this not something that maybe goes on within other cultures, but because we're not ingrained and a part of those cultures, it feels very isolating, like it is something that is happening just with us.
Well, I could personally say, even working in corporate America, I could say dealing with people of different cultures, I could say one thing for sure, and two things for certain. If you had two white women, because I have experienced this, if you have two white women who just don't agree with one another, you understand what I'm saying? They may talk about that person to you, but as soon as if once they get into a situation where it's either that person or you, and meaning whether it's that white woman or that Black woman, I personally seen that they stick behind that white woman. So they don't throw that white woman under the bus. And so I have adopted the same mentality. Now, me and a Black woman may not get along, and that's fine. But what I don't do is, and I made it very clear, is when I was in corporate America and that white woman know that me and this Black woman did not get along, and she want to converse about this Black woman to me, I nipped in the bud. I did not entertain it because I felt as if you're trying to play me against her. But if the shoe, if when everything hit the fan, if it's me or you, it's gonna be you. But one thing about us, what I witnessed is we would throw each other up under the bus. We will throw each other up. We would not, regardless if you do not agree with me, if you do not like me, we would sit there and talk about one another to every in any culture that's gonna listen. We would not
Anybody
defend each other. Anybody.
anybody.
Because you're too busy trying to get where I'm at. Instead of appreciating where I'm at and the person I am, I'm gonna pull you up. But because you don't have my same mentality, if you was in my position, you would leave me down there. So now you want to put me, you want to switch places. So how I'm gonna do that? I'm gonna talk bad about her. I'm gonna talk crazy. I'm gonna say it be half the time. It be our own people telling when we come in late, complain about what we have on, complain. You understand what I'm saying? It's like you for me or you
That is
against
that
me.
corporate life. That's that corporate life.
That is corporate America. And it's sad, and sometimes we interpret that in our entrepreneurship. We do that in business. We, instead of celebrating this person, it's enough. I like to always give this scenario. When you go in Walmart, you see Sara Lee bread, you see Walmart brand, you see natural on all that, you see all that, and guess what? Can't afford the $3.99 bread. I'm gonna get the 84-cent bread. It's enough bread for everybody. It's bread, all the bread is selling. So if you have a boutique, I have a boutique, she have a boutique, everybody gonna win because my
McDonald's and Burger
customer,
King.
come on, somebody, and Wendy's.
On every corner. Yeah.
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 So I just want to piggyback off of everybody's made some awesome comments, and I'm just reflecting on the work that Dr. Georgia Guri did with post-traumatic slave syndrome. And when I think about our culture, and I think about the things that we've gone through, it's almost a miracle that we're still here. And 200 years of being prisoners of war. From there, we went to Jim Crow. From there, civil rights, and now the penal system, the mass incarceration of our community. There's no wonder as to why we behave as such. But when you come to realize some things, like I think I have through my trials, we who can see it and understand it, we've got to learn how to extend grace
Yes.
to one another.
Mm.
I
Yes.
believe that grace is the
Absolutely.
fundamental
Absolutely.
panacea that we here on this call can extend to our broken sisters. We we have entrepreneurs on this call, we have brokers, we have educators, we have CEOs, we have a laundry list of very successful people, and we did this without any type of mental support. And so moving forward, and Doc and I, she and I, we've been through different things with various people, and we come to understand that these people are truly broken. So once the Lord has helped you to heal up somewhat, because we're still all broken, we're still all healing, but when you can be happy for your sister, it's incumbent upon us to extend grace to those who have not yet come to the point where they don't have to feel that they should be jealous. Because, like Veronica said, the bread is selling, and it's up to us to showcase the bread like we're doing now. So I love you, my sisters. I believe in Doc. She believes in me, and I believe that we have the propensity and the capacity to turn this mother trucker around. We can do this. We surely can. Even through my pain, you can still be able to give and help and support one another. And so that's what we're here for. We're here to build one up. We're here to help one another. And the reason why these people have held us prisoners of war, the reason why that we have been in mass incarceration is because of our power.
Yep.
They most definitely fear our power. And we
So
fear
many
it
times.
too.
That's a great
We
point,
got to
Tracy.
stop fearing it, and we need to start embracing our greatness because we all are great. Absolutely. So, ladies, continue to do your best work. Continue to live in your excellence. That's one thing my dad taught me. He gave me the spirit of excellence. As he was leaving last Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago, I was able to share with him how great he was. And as he was leaving, I was giving him accolades of honor and glory and a power. And so that was such a wonderful gift that he gave me to take his last breath with me holding his hand. And so you take that power with you, continue to love our broken sisters because love definitely covers a multitude of sin. And you keep moving forward. You love your haters. You embrace the ain'ts and use that to propel you to even more higher greatness. Because as we become great, we can help others. Like you guys are actually literally helping me. I wasn't going to give them a call, but because of my love for Doc, because I truly had a significant meltdown about 30 minutes before the call. And I said, no, I need to pull myself up because I may be able to learn something from someone else. And someone else can probably pour into me. And you guys, I most definitely feel better. So I'm very grateful for all of your comments and all the things that you have contributed,
Energy.
poured into my life tonight.
Yeah, I think it's definitely energy, Tracy. You know, sometimes, and that's the thing about support is that if you have a heart for support and an energy for support, you don't have to know people intimately to ride the wave of that energy. So I think, you know, it's awesome that you are able to join and just to as they say, you know, just being in the room, there's always something to give and something to get. So much peace to
You
you.
definitely said something. Were you going to say something, Sharon? Go ahead, and I'll say something after you.
Yes. So Tracy, I don't know you. This is the first time that I've met you, but whatever it is that you're going through, I'm feeling your heart, my sister. Okay. And you needed to be here. So I'm so glad you got yourself together and you were here. Okay. Because at the end of the day, if we all come from a place of love and coming from a place of doing the right thing and just from your heart, right? And just listen to God because He's going to lead you every single time. And just let go and let Him be your eyesight and just one step at a time, sweetheart. Don't even try to figure out whatever it is because I don't know what it is. Okay. Don't try to figure out and try to say to yourself, why me? You need to turn it around and say, why not? Okay. Because when you get through this, whatever it is that you're going through, you need to reach back and help someone else. Because if you can help one person to get through whatever they're going through, it was worth the pain. Trust and believe. I'm a living miracle and walking testimony. And one day you and I would get together and share our.
Well, the one thing that Tracy said that all of us have to realize, I think that was powerful that we missed was that, and it's something I just read this, it was like, once we understand our power and we understand the power of Black women collaborating, like, you know, not just no shout out, man, but the Sigma Theta sorority, we've shown what happens when Black women put their foot down, when they collectively collaborate, right? What power we have. And when we as a country of women start understanding that, magical things will happen. And as Tracy and Sharon said, and how that happens is it happens by each of us doing our part. Just making sure that we don't stay in those broken places, that we are always being the bigger person, that we're always, just shaking off the negative stuff and just moving in greatness, moving in grace, moving, you know, knowing who we are and whose we are, and supporting our sisters, even when they don't support us, even when they don't support us.
I think
I think everything that Tracy
we're always
said,
leading by example, you know, and I think that's a big thing is to recognize that you're leading by example when you want to and when you don't, because somebody is always watching. And I think, you know, when you talk about and obviously this is about leading with support, but I think that when you look at the collective of this group, there is an energy of support on this call. And again, I think, you know, you definitely lead by example, and it's up to each of us what that example is. And if we know people who don't know how to be friends and don't know how to be supportive as friends, the more that they see us being that thing that we want other people to be and they see it reflected, they have no option but to either join or to go the opposite way. You have two options.
And Doc, another thing that I was going to say is it's a cliche, but it's true. Hurt people,
Absolutely.
right? And yeah, it's kind of crazy because when someone is hurting, they spill out on you for no apparent reason. You are not the problem. You just happen to be there. Right? And you're getting
You're
the
the
brunt
closest.
of it. Yes, you're getting the brunt of it. So there are some times that you have to react and give it back to them as we do, especially Black women, right? Because all of us, we just can't let something slide. Can't give each other grace, as you said.
You
And
take them off.
look, okay, and I'm Jamaican. I'm from New York too, so you know that I just be ready to
Giving
cut
no
you in a
interest.
second. Okay, but what I'm learning as I'm getting older, and even with my children, and being in a leadership position, I'm learning to take a deep breath Just let things go.
Woo. I'll
Because
tell
it's not every fight that you need to fight. It's not every
you.
battle
I
that you
had
need
learned
to
that.
fight, right?
Learn that. That was
every
something I
Yeah.
had learned. You
Yeah,
cannot
it's not.
fight every battle.
No, it's not necessary because at the end of the day, to be quite honest with you, you're not the one
Oh,
that or they want to fight. You just happen to be there. So it's like, oh, okay, you good?
yeah.
You done? Okay. And I'll give you a grace and I'll give you a pass 1 or 2 times, but don't keep letting it happen.
Don't be a doormat.
No,
Right.
the third time you might have a little bit of a problem.
Just the third time.
Just the third time.
That is
I
so
wanted
true.
to comment on what Tracy said about now that we recognize what the problem is, we have the power to turn this thing around. And I think we need to begin to have conversations on how we are going to turn this around, like we're having tonight.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah.
think it starts with passing it down to the next generation. You know, constant conversations with our daughters about relationships with women, how we have relationships, what we do in those relationships, what words mean in relationship, what our actions mean in relationships. And I don't think that enough moms or black women have those conversations with their daughters. I see the cattiness when I see some of our daughters and some of the things that they do and you're thinking, God, I hope my kid is never out doing that. But they don't know. Nobody's ever had a conversation about how to be a friend. Um, think of all the people that you think of with a daughter. How many of them do you think constantly has conversations? And it's not something you can just have one time. It's ongoing. It's a learning experience. So
Yes.
you're constantly having those conversations about what friendship means, what a friendship circle is, and what we do as women in those relationships. And so I think we have to start there because if we don't send it down to the next group and the next generation, what we're experiencing now is going to continue. But if we do pass it down and if we do have those conversations with the next generation, with our daughters constantly, I can tell you you'll see a big difference in what we experience or what they experience in there as they begin to go through their adult friendships and female friendships.
Yes, that is so true, Danette. And like Anthony says, our true ability is to elevate, is to avoid conflict and not engage. And what I read one day where it said, the less you interact with negativity, the more peaceful your life becomes. And so, stop always having to like Sharon was saying, sometimes we can let them have it, but we are very egotistical. We're egotistical creature. We can't let nobody have it. I cannot let her have it. Right. But then sometimes we have to understand. I used to always say this when I was at FAMU: do not step off your pedestal to go down and play with the peasants. If you really are a queen, act like it. Why are you playing with these peasants? Right? You can't have it both ways. And I used to always tell my little young babies at FAMU, like, some stuff just you don't entertain. It's not even worth your energy. And so I completely agree with you, Anthony and Danette, on that. Right. Somebody's on said, let me hear your
But we have
insight. So
to
Danette, I think you started
well,
breaking up. You're breaking up.
um,
Did you move? Like Nikisha said, protecting your peace. You have to start protecting your peace. Danette, you're coming in and out. I don't think she realizes it because she's still talking. Hopefully she'll catch that she's coming in and out.
I think she's
okay.
frozen.
And sometimes we
One
have
of
to
the things
be
we
very
talked about on
careful
the
because
go ahead.
Go ahead, Danette.
we have to be very careful is because we feel the way we feel and because we ignore a lot of the drama and we ignore a lot of the foolishness, people will waste it and weaponize your niceness. So for people to want to take advantage of you, want to be the lesser of the person because they feel like, well, people are going to call her
You're coming, Danette, you're breaking up really badly. You're gonna have to, I don't know if you moved positions or what you did, but we can't hear anything you're saying. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, Tamika says everything does not deserve your energy. Stay focused on your course. Stay focused on your course. Everything does not deserve your energy. And I think that's one thing that Brittany, that we all have to learn. Like it is a learning thing. Like everything doesn't deserve your energy. And I think that's one thing that it took me a while to learn that, but it was so much more peaceful when I realized, Karen, I cannot fight all the battles. It's something I just cannot fight. And so I stopped fighting him. I mean, I had some friends that was like, you don't have to respond to everything. And it did. It truly brought a lot more peace into my life, just to let things go.
Yeah, I just get to the point. I'm like, I assessed a couple of things. Is it going to make a difference in my life, my income, my family? I just go down the list, right? Is this going to make a difference to me in the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 years? Is this person even important? Okay, because half of the time they're just trying to get your attention, and not everybody deserves your attention. Some people deserve to sit in the bleachers of your life, not on the front row.
That's right. That's right. They need to be on the back pew and not on the front pew.
Okay, exactly. So at the same time, it's like, okay, you know what? Yeah, you got to go. And you're not trying to be, how would you say, thinking everybody thinks that you think that you're better than them or whatever. But no, I don't have time for this. This is foolishness. Life is too short. You're not going to steal my joy. You're not. And my peace. So I'm just going to keep on doing what I do and just keep on going.
When people say
some people get it confused
you're
with,
better than me.
Yes. Some people get it confused with you thinking you're better, but in reality, I'm just different. You understand? So you don't really truly think you're better than anyone. You just different than them. And so they can't respect your difference. So then what it is they really see that they lack what you have. And therefore they say they think you're better. They make you think that they'll say that you think that you're better than them, but in reality, they think you're better than them.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So
that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yes. And then it's so sad because in this day and age, I see it is a lot of women of color. We compete against one another because it's a learned behavior. I don't know about you all, but I have witnessed mothers and daughters competing against each other. And I'm like, who competes against their child? But they do. You in your 40s and you still want to be 20. You want to compete, you want to be as fine as your 20-year-old. You want to be as hot as you want to get more attention to the point where you even dealing with your daughter 20 and you dealing with 25. So it's a competition thing even within the home. So if you have mothers and daughters, nieces and aunts, cousins, you understand? If you have that competition in the home, you can only imagine they're going to compete outside of the home. So sometimes it's a learn. I always tell my daughter who's 14, be the best version of yourself.
That's right.
You do not compete against anyone but yourself. Period. Point blank. The end. Do not try to compete because what's meant for you is meant for you. That oil will pour on you if it's for you. Do you understand? I can't get Doc's oil. I can't get Simone's oil. That oil, just like David, they poured oil on how many? 7 of his brothers, and it did not flow. But as soon as David came, it flowed. That oil was meant for David. So what is meant for you is meant for you. No matter how hard I compete against you, my gift is my gift. We may have the same talent, but we do not have the same gift.
That's
and
right.
that what people don't understand.
So Veronica, just to piggyback on that, You come and get me to help you with a situation, and my situation turned out to be better than yours. Isn't that the purpose of you coming to get me? So that I can make the situation better. And then when I move on, I help the next person to make it better, just like your kids. Because I don't know about you ladies, but I have 2 children. And my sole purpose on earth is to make sure that they elevate and get even to the next plateau and the higher level than both me and my husband ever even dreamed or imagined.
Right.
Okay? And when you're in a leadership position or any kind of position, when you're helping someone, your job to me is to catapult them over the loopholes and all the other things so that they don't have to go through the struggles that you have gone through, right? You want, at least I know for myself, okay, if I've gone through something, I don't want Doc to go through it. If I know that there's a pothole right there, I'm going to make sure she drives the other way and go the other way around, right? So that when she goes down the road, she can turn back around and say, Brittany, don't go down that street because you know that there's a big pothole down there. And Brittany can turn around and tell Tracy, tell Danette, don't go down that street because there's a big pothole down there. Yes. Okay? Why is this so hard for us? Just as a people in general, why is that so hard for us? Why, when we find something that works, we can't tell somebody else about it and help them to make sure that their situation works and even get better? You want to answer that and help me out?
Well, I personally feel like you have those that want to be the big fish in the pond. So I want to be the bigger fish in the pond. I want to be the one who always you come to me. So I'm not going to share that advice with Doc. So you, Sharon, Brittany, I want to be the go-to person because that makes my ego bigger. That makes me feel like I'm the man. You understand? So I'm not going to share a lot of things because I want you to come to me. So it's unfortunate that unlike Proverbs 27:10, as an iron sharpens an iron, so does a friend sharpens a friend. We have a lot of people who want to be the sharpest iron, and we rather have dull friends. So when they need sharpening, they have to come to us. So you have some people who just.
That's where we, to me, that's kind of crazy because if you are the biggest fish in the pond or if you're the smartest person in the room, right, you really don't bring any value because you'll never, ever learn anything, right? Because how am I going to learn something or how am I going to learn to expand or get any bigger if I'm the biggest fish in the pond?
Exactly.
Come on now.
I just want to say that if you're the smartest person in your
in the room, you got the wrong circle.
Yeah, I mean, it's a problem, right? It's a problem.
This is so timely. I just was having this conversation with my fiance yesterday, and we were just talking about how when we talk about success, and one of the things that he said that applies to this conversation was, as a parent, you're not successful until your child is out of your house and is now living on their own. And it's not just that they have a job, but they're able to take care of themselves and they're able to take care of their family. And at that point, as a parent, that is when you know that you have been successful in the growing and the rearing of your child. And I think, to Danette's point earlier, there are conversations that cannot be had by mothers with their children because those mothers don't know those conversations. Because as we talked about on a previous podcast, Doc, they can't have a conversation about how to grow a child when they're still a child and then their parent is in competition with them. And so you have 3 generations in the same pair of shorts, in the same club, in the same conversations. So you can't grow in that conversation. And there is no one. I mean, y'all got to go and dig up great grandmama to get any learning, because grandmama is over here competing with the daughter and the great granddaughter. And so, that's why it's so important when you talk about being a village and going back to that time where it wasn't just what happened in your household, where you had all of these other people that were available and willing to pour into your child and to be a support system. Like, it has to be bigger than your nuclear family. Like, you have to, sometimes your family is not the family that you're related to. It is the family that you create. And that's just as important.
One of my posts tonight that I'm going to post after this, when I do my little nightly post, it says that if you don't look at your circle and get inspired, you got the wrong circle.
You're in the wrong circle. You're in a square.
You're in the wrong circle. Yeah. It said, hey, if you don't look at your circle and get inspired, it said you're not in a circle, you in a cage. And that was Nipsey Hussle said that. And so, you do want your circle to be people who are, smarter than you, doing things better than you. And that's something, like I said, like Ronnie says, as Black women, we just have always just took issue with, it's so hard. Black women have the most difficulty following other Black women, and Sharon and all of us can speak to this. We've had employees, we've had people, I mean, it's not the white employee that gives you the most talk back and the most difficulty.
Somebody.
It's the one that looks just like you that's giving you the most difficulty, because they can't understand that you are in the position of power. And I always say, you guys know, I say it every time, Ronnie, if you don't see greatness in you, there's no way you can see greatness in me. And so that's a battle that I cannot fight, because that's something that you are dealing with. And it's nothing I can say or do to ever combat that.
Those are facts. Period.
I need you to say that again, Doc, so I can record that. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to rewind that. She said, if you don't see greatness in you, you can't see
me. You can't be
what you can't see.
That is a word that I'm gonna have to, that's gonna be my tweet and my thing for tomorrow.
The reason I can support all my women on this thing, like that go big sister Sharon. Sharon's my mentor. She's helping me to become a leader, on that national and regional level, because I know Sharon can be great, because I'm great. The reason I can say my cousin Brittany is the best decorator in the state of Florida. She does her thing, because Brittany can be great and I can be great at the same time. I can say my sister Tracy, my big sister Tracy is a superhero in education. I mean, she brings this peace to me unlike anybody else, because Tracy can be great because I'm great. And once women start realizing that, your shine is not dimmed because somebody else is shining.
It's amplified.
Your light is not dimmed.
They think that because they recognize the greatness or the goodness, okay, in someone else, it takes away from you. No, it doesn't, okay? I have no problem. It got to a point where I stopped telling women that, oh, you look nice. I like that outfit. You look pretty. Because they look at you like, what? There must be something wrong with her. Is she trying to pick me up?
And don't you wear something close to that.
Okay, and I'm like, no, I'm not batting for that team. I'm good, I got a husband. I'm not trying to say, like, I just think that you fly. You doing the darn thing. And I find myself, I do that all the time, and I don't really care. And I'm not going to change that, okay? Because to me, loving all my sisters, making sure, complimenting you, making sure that I let you know that you're doing the darn thing. I'm okay with that. And that doesn't make me any smaller for telling you that. And it's not going to take anything away from me. At the end of the day, I put this outfit on that somebody could tell me I look nice. So I know that you did the same thing when you all dress up and you getting out, go outside. So ladies, I'm just going to let y'all know this was amazing and was very, very timely. And thank you so much. And thank you for all your support. And if y'all ever need me, y'all know where to find me.
You know what, Sharon, it's funny because I was looking at that thinking, I have somebody I'm getting ready to refer to you on tomorrow. So I think, we should not be, as women, we should not be afraid to have multiple circles, because you get different things and it is okay. And having a friend group over here, I just had this conversation. Having a friend group over here does not mean I am no longer taking applications and I can't be anyone else's friend. I can only have, like T-Mobile used to have their Fab Five. I can only have 5 friends. 6, 7, and 8, y'all gonna have to wait until I fall out with somebody. Like, why do we think that? We have, and every person that you know is not your friend, likewise, right? So you have your friends, you have work friends, I have life friends, I have people who are just like my associates that I'm like, oh, hey, what's up when I go out? You are allowed to be in more than one group because you should get more than one thing from any person at any given time. Like, we are not islands unto ourselves, but yet and still we move like we are. And to your point, Sharon, if you tell me, women, we're so funny. We get dressed and we want everybody to comment on what we have on. But then you're like, why is she over here looking at what I got on? And I know she gonna have this on next week. But then the other part of that is we are so awful that men are afraid to say, you look nice. Like, oh, here he go trying to holler at me. No, he's happy at home. He's just saying, those are nice shoes. You know what? My wife, that's a nice blouse. It look like something my wife would wear. But
our boys were just saying that, our guys on the thing were just saying that last week, Simone. When I was on with just the guys, they were saying that exact same thing.
They're afraid. They are afraid of me too. They're afraid of you too. They're afraid. They just out here. Everybody is just like, now they got to be scared of COVID on top of everything else. Like, it's, you just get to a point where, you know what, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut, and you just got to figure it out on your own. So.
Well, if you have something on that I like, Simone, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to let you know I wear a size 7 shoes. So, go ahead and pick that up for me.
That's my mother. You're going to need to talk to my mother. I can't do nothing if you're not in at least an 8.
I'm going to let you know, girl, that was a badass dress. Can you let me know where you got that from? Did you get that from Veronica Rose? Because I need her to, send me one, and I will cash app you.
Right.
And you know what we have to do. You know what, ladies? And a lot of women, I have to say this, a lot of women, they feel as if when they're in the industry longer than you, that they know more than you. And therefore they can't even embrace what you have to say. A lot of times, say for instance, I'm gonna use Danette. Danette been doing shirts longer than me. That's her side hustle. Okay. She can do a bad shirt. Okay. Giving you all the praise. So if I see something and I'm giving her constructive criticism to make her business better, you have a lot of women who would take that as hate. See, they don't know how to differentiate the two. I'm giving you constructive criticism to better your business, and you think I'm hating on you because you think because you've been doing it longer than me that you know more than me. And one thing I know for sure is once you are unteachable, you have just stumped your growth. You understand? Because you learn something every day. So whether from my 14-year-old daughter or my 75-year-old mother or whomever, I can't say, oh, she's old and she don't know what she's talking about, or she's too young and she don't know. And that's what I see a lot of women, especially women of color. I see that they have a problem with accepting constructive criticism. Not everybody's hating. Now she want to be like me. Now you understand? Like, just receive what they're given and take heed, because everybody's not hating on you. You understand? Everybody don't want to be you. A lot of times we're just not even interested in you. And as that one, I think it was a song said, I'm not that into you. But because I'm outside of your circle and you are so we always
your
say
circle is negative.
always say we want to A1 friend
That's
until
what
they
we say.
A1 with you.
Until they
You
have
understand?
one.
Until they
But
A1
you
with
don't
you,
know how to be one.
until they're real with you, you can't accept the realness. Now, because they're real with you, now they're hating on you. Now they not, you understand? So it's like receive what people say and stop thinking everybody is hating on you and stop thinking that you know all. I don't care if you've been in the industry for 20 years and I've been in there for 2. You don't you may have more experience than me, but you
I don't
don't
even,
know
you know what,
everything.
though, Veronica? I don't even think it's necessarily about experience. I just think that, and I always used to say this again at FAMU when I tell my babies, look to the heart of a person. Like, if you really know my heart, and if you really say I'm your girl and you know me, and if I'm saying something to you, you honestly think that I'm saying something to you to hurt you or harm you, like,
Right.
look what you said. Like, I know for a fact that I'm that A1 friend. I know that I'm the friend that's going to tell you the truth, because I can't rest knowing that I lied to you. I can't rest knowing that I sabotaged you by not telling you the truth. And so, because of that, my circle, when it comes to it, is small. Like, I know that, because most people, they don't want that type of friend. That's the truth. Like you said, they say they want that A1, but all they want is yes men, yes women. You just
Yes.
want somebody to just agree with everything you say, that's not going to challenge you. And
I
so,
totally agree.
If you don't know how to
And
be one.
even if it's someone not in your circle and they're telling you, listen, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to hang with you to listen to you, because you may see something that the people in my circle, because we're so accustomed to one another, they may not see. You understand what I'm saying? You may
Mhm.
recognize something that we didn't recognize. So it's even
Right.
if you don't know someone and they're giving you, they're telling you something and you're taking it as if they're hating. Everyone is not. If you think that everyone is hating on you, then the probability is it's you,
You.
because
you know what,
everybody
y'all
is
know
just,
what I say. You know what
you
I
know
say, Ronnie Rose? You the common denominator.
you're
You
the
the
common.
common denominator.
Everybody
That's
can't
what
be
it's
Why
hating
about.
you
on
You
you.
ain't
the common
your
denominator.
friend?
You got to think about it. If you the common denominator, is it everybody or is it you?
Is it you?
And
Yeah.
that's what I think a lot of sisters, like my girlfriend, Tamika, and she's on here, Tamika President. Shout out to her. She used to always say sisters supporting sisters, and I love that, because one thing about it, she supports. She really does. She supports any and everyone. You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes a lot of us women, um, entrepreneurs, we don't know how to allow people to celebrate us. See, we want to celebrate ourselves. You understand? And so therefore that's another thing that, when you only want to celebrate yourself, that can cause
Mhm.
confusion with celebrating other people. Okay, let me give you an
Mhm.
example so it can make sense. I got to break it
Oh
down.
no, we know what you're saying. We know it
Okay.
because we know people that
So
do it.
every time I do something for you, I don't have to say I did it. You understand what I'm saying? Let other people celebrate you. I don't have to be on the
Right.
mic always talk about what I did for Danette, what I did. I went and bought this. Come, you know what I'm saying? And even owning your own business, I don't have to sit up and say, okay, I call my customers the CK Jewels. I say CK Jewels. That's my customers. Okay, I don't have to always be on Facebook saying, well, I did this for my CK Jewels. I did that for my CK Jewels. Let my CK Jewels celebrate me. Let them say what I did for them. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So a lot of us,
Give them
we
opportunity.
we too busy celebrating ourselves, where we can't celebrate other people. We can't uplift Doc. We can't, because we want everybody to, like Simone say, you get dressed up and you want everybody to compliment you. But as soon as you see somebody who looks as good or better than you, then you like, well, I wouldn't have wore them shoes with that dress.
Right.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't have did that.
Who
It's
wore?
like,
Now you got who wore it better.
Right.
just say the girl look good. Just she
And,
look
Right.
and
Listen,
my
It's
thing
not
is,
all you
Veronica,
wore
after
those
this
shoes
call
with
tonight,
that dress.
After this
Because
call, I want us all to commit to being those women. We are already doing it. All of you are watching. Like we're gonna make it a point on Facebook. Like I always say, we're doing all these different little susus and all this. Let's do some susus that matter. Let's do some upliftment susus. Let's like I said, let's do some black business, some black women susus. Hey, we supporting CK Jewels. We supporting Significant Couture. We're supporting Ultimate Style Mom. When I said the wrapping paper, that's done that. Then that makes the HBCU and the Christmas paper. I don't know if you guys saw it with the Rattlers and the different schools. Like, don't think, oh, I could have thought of that. Oh, I couldn't. No, support it.
But you
Buy
didn't.
it. Right? Let's support each other. Let's support each other. I mean, it's
And my
so
whole thing is like when you do support somebody and do something for them, don't tell the whole world what you done did for
that's
them.
what she
Don't do
was
me no
saying.
favor. Do not do me a favor, and then you have to tell everybody else about it.
Right.
yeah,
No, that's very true. That's very
that's
true. I think we one of the really great things I always enjoy when I'm on these podcasts, because you're able to have conversations with other like-minded women who you wouldn't necessarily come into contact with throughout the course of like your daily life. And I think, when you talk about women and you talk about Black-owned businesses, I've owned a business, and one of the things that I always disliked was people would say, "Oh, you know what? I was a partner we had a Black cigar lounge, downtown cigar lounge in Jacksonville." And so one of the things that people would say is, "Oh, we need a cigar lounge, or we need a Black-owned business that does this, or Black-owned business that does that. How come we don't do that?" But then when we provide that
You
service and
don't
we
support it.
fill that gap, you don't support it. We had a Black on a men's grooming lounge, and what you find is people say, "Oh, I'm going to come, I'm going to buy, I'm going to do, I'm going to support," and then what happens is when that service is no longer available, it's, "Oh, I was going to come by there next week." Cut it out. Right? And so I think it's important that when we see these Black-owned businesses, that we buy something, because business does not happen on its own. We say we want to be supportive, and we're in this, feels like some days we're in this vacuum of it's all Black, it's Black now, it's Black right, Black is right. But what are we still doing? It's like it's not a trending thing. Because how do we continue to support and grow our community if we won't support the Black businesses that are in our community? Why is there a Chinese
Oh, come on. You
restaurant?
didn't hear my show last week when we talked about that. Y'all be out here screaming Black Lives Matter until they don't. Like, you're not
Until
supporting
they
these
don't.
Black businesses because Black lives is behind Black businesses. And so I need for every Black woman who has a business to put it in the chat and make sure
Yeah.
that we all support each other, because we all talking about Black Lives Matter. I'm pro-Black. But you're not for real, though. Not for real.
You're not. Why is it? Here's a question. Dunn Avenue, perfect example. Why, in a predominantly Black community, there are 5 or 6 Chinese food restaurants? Why is there no soul food restaurant in a Black community? I don't
Not supporting it. And that's
And
another great point. Ashley Taylor, I just read a post the other day that said, if my friend's selling a shirt and it costs $30, I'm paying $30 for my
no,
my
I'm not,
shirt.
because I want to hook up because I'm your friend.
That's what she just said. Or they want to hook up. They
I want
want
to
to
hook up. But how can I pay? I can't. JEA only hooks up and unhooks based on what I give them. So if I continue to hook you up, JEA is going to unhook me. I guarantee it.
Robin, I have a question for you. Make sure, guys, when you put in your business, put in the website and where you're located, because Protecting Me, self-defense for women, items for females, Robin, we might need some of that for the real estate for some of our agents. So make sure you guys are sharing where you are too in your website so that we can support you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's just, what is it? They say don't talk about it, be about it.
Yeah, let's not just talk
Be
about
about
it.
the
Let's
business
say
of
about it.
business.
Let's share. Let's support one another, because the only way it's going to change, as Tracy said earlier, is if we change it. So we have to be the change that we want to see. And so, us on here, I had these ladies because I know that these ladies support each other. I know that, Danette and I have gone and done events with Brittany because we think Brittany is a phenomenal event planner. Like we we love her skills. You know, Brittany and I have gone to help Danette make shirts and get orders ready. You know, we're going to support one another. So let's make sure that we all actively do so. That's watching the show as well. And so if I can support you in any way, inbox me. You know, if there's something that you want me to share, let me know. I want to be a person that just doesn't talk about it, but I be about it. I really thought that I was going to see just such an increase in Black owned businesses and Black support during this time, like during all the, but I didn't. I mean, I just saw a lot of talk. I saw a lot of protests and a lot of talk, but I didn't see it manifest into real action. And I was disappointed by that.
I expected to see
So, Doc.
if you were a Black business, my expectation was that, like, if you were Black during this time, I felt like you could walk into a restaurant with no reservation and they were putting you like at the front of the line. I felt like if you had a Black owned business, like there was no reason for you to be Black and have a Black owned business and not be winning. And to your point, I agree with you that I am disappointed because it feels like we only stand up when there's a trauma.
Right. Okay.
And after the immediacy of the trauma, we go back to a status quo, which is why no one is afraid of us because we
No one
mad
takes
for
it
a minute.
seriously. Yep.
We're
No
mad
one
for a minute.
cares.
You know, and it's like when they say, you know, this isn't a race, it's a marathon. Well, it's not even a race because a lot of times it feels like out of the starting gate, you know, we already heaving and hoeing. Like I can
I
tell
used to
you this,
tell my students that it's so funny that someone else was telling that we still back there stretching. They don't shot off the gun. Y'all still back there stretching and people running the race.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like me trying to get out in the morning and run my whole community. No, I'm gonna get to the next driveway and I'm gonna start walking. Right? Like that's what it feels like right now. So
But Simone, the other thing is they're so harder on us, right? We're
right.
so harder on each other. We have a business and someone comes to that particular business and something goes wrong. Say if it's a restaurant and something, you know, maybe the food was off that day
Or
or
you're out of something.
yeah, so you're out of something or something was cold, whatever the situation is. They want to go in on you just because of
And
that.
all on social.
Black. Right, because you're Black. They want to talk about it and they want to carry on. But if they went to the Chinese restaurant or the other establishments and something happened, they're still going to go back and support them, but they won't.
And they're gonna patiently wait.
Yes. Okay. Even, you know, Doc, I don't know if this happens to you, being that you're a Black minority business owner here in Georgia. It's just so crazy because someone would look at Michelle and I and go, well, I don't know if I want to go over there to that franchise or to their office to join their real estate company because they're Black. They're too Black. I don't know if they have everything that I need. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, okay, and if I don't, let's build together. Tell me what it is that you need so that I can get it.
I can't tell you because I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? It's so crazy, right? You'll go to another person's franchise or whatever or office, and you're not making any money over there. You're not doing anything, but you come over here, and I'm trying to help you to make sure that you know you make at least the first 100,000 in the first quarter, and you looking at me like I'm crazy. You know what I'm saying?
You know what, Sharon? But why are you not an expert? You know, the problem is that so many times people, even our friends, will not see us as an expert or as a professional in that thing that you do every day. But they'll go out and someone else can tell them the exact same thing.
Well, it goes
But
back
I'm
to
your
what
friend.
I said. I can't be great if you're not great. If I'm not great, I can't see you as great. Like
Right.
it's not way that you can be that smart, Karen, because I'm not that smart. If
I'm
you don't,
telling you, you're gonna have to write that down for me because I'm not that smart. You're gonna have to write that down.
I sent it to you, boo. I sent it to you. I'll send it to you. And I know you all, my ladies, are superstars in their own right. And I know that everyone has work in the morning. And so I want to wrap us up. We will do a part two in the very near future, but I want to end it by allowing each of you to tell us right now, again, you told us what support was, but how can we support you? Leaving this episode tonight, I want to know how can we support you? So tell us, Tracy, how can we support you?
Yes, Tracy, you on the mic.
You still muted.
There she is.
Support you.
You guys have supported me in ways that I can't even describe. I have been so encouraged and so uplifted. I am still in very much deep bereavement with the death of my dad. I was a dad's girl. He was a man of integrity and honor and excellence. And I was so humbled to serve as his baby girl. So you guys continue to step into your greatness. I love you all, and I look forward to champion the great work with
Thank
you and
you
moving
so
the
much,
work forward.
Tracy. Ronnie Rose.
So yes, you can definitely support me by sharing my link. Um, for those who don't, for those, I guess, could you put it in there for me? Could I just put it in there? But just sharing my link, watching my significant seed, because I do a significant seed that encourage and empower people sharing, um, and just pretty much, you know, continue to encourage me with positive, with positive words as well, because even the strong get weak, and I am very strong. And sometimes, my cup get empty. So I need someone to pour into me as I pour into others as well. So you could definitely support me with sharing my link, watching my lives, and just spreading the good news about Significant Couture and Veronica Rose, the life purpose coach.
Thank you, Ronnie Rose.
You're
Big
welcome.
cousin Danette Henry.
Ladies, I just want to say that this conversation has blessed me. I need to start there. I I knew it would be a great conversation, but I did not know it was going to be this great. And I'm just so filled, and I'm just, my heart is overflowing with what I've experienced tonight. And I just needed to start there. But support me by one, supporting other sisters. When you're online, like their comments, make a comment that encourages them. If they have a small business, encourage them by sharing their small business. Encourage them by, when you do that, when you like, you change the algorithms. And so we have to remember, with social media, algorithms is everything. I was watching yesterday on TikTok, and the young black lady was talking about how when you change the algorithms, you change people's lives sometimes, because the more their content is shared, the more followers they get monetized. And you have people of other cultures, and they're making millions and millions and millions of dollars off of your culture, because someone shared their content, because somebody commented under their content, because somebody was able to buy a product from their content. So that's the first thing that I would encourage us to do. When you see things online that are not very flattering to black women, don't share that. Encourage our daughters and our children not to share those types of things. They seem like it's funny content to you, but it's not. It can be very hurtful, and it leads to stereotypes about us. Um, when we see comments about black businesses, when we see comments about, there's this one that goes around all the time. Oh my goodness. And it says, black people put their kids out and make them pay. and white kids get to stay with their
I've
parents
seen that.
long as they want to, which is simply not true. That just is a matter of how you run your household. And when you think about how more than 50% of households are run by African American women, it really is a slight to us, that those types of comments. So let's continue to fight those types of stereotypes that people put out about Black women. Um, Also, my business is Ultimate Sideline Mom, www Ultimate Sideline Mom. Here's my gift wrap. This is my
Hold
FAMU
on.
gift wrapping paper. And I have many schools, African American, well, HBCUs out there, and you can support this by buying a roll. And thank you, Nikisha Harris, because she was the first person in Daytona Beach to support me and buy some of my wrapping paper. Her and Charlene Diamond, and they did it by watching your show the other night. So um, that just goes to show and I know I'm being a little long, but I'm going to tell you this story real quick. I was on TikTok the other day, and I was feeling a little down, so I decided that I was just going to go on there and I was just going to be unapologetically 100% pro Black woman. So I go to Black women in business, and I just start commenting under their businesses. I started liking their content and just telling them how beautiful their products was. And all of a sudden, it's 3 in the morning, and I get this message that says, um, "Congratulations on your purchase or your something." And I started going. I was traumatized. I said, "Oh no, somebody's gotten a hold of my account and they're purchasing things with my credit card. Somebody's gotten a hold of my credit card." And then another one came through, and it was people from when Melissa had talked about my business. And come to find out, it was people purchasing products. It wasn't me purchasing things, and I read it wrong. So I thought someone had actually got my credit card and was buying things. But I truly believe that was because I spent my night encouraging other Black women that night. I wasn't out promoting my business because I was down in a slump that night. But I did lay in bed and I did encourage other Black women. And I think the Lord just blessed me that night because those orders just started coming through because I was being a blessing to someone else. So this is my business, ultimatesidelinemom.com. If you would share it, I have other Black gift wrap with other Black people on it, angels, Black Santa Clauses, other Black HBCUs. Support me, and I would appreciate it. And I definitely will support all of you. And thank you again, you all.
Thank you, Annette. Brittany. Brittany's my little cousin, y'all, but she's my little cousin by love. She's not blood, but I love her like she's my little cousin.
Yeah, we adopted
This
her on the
has,
same day.
We did.
yes, you guys did. This podcast has definitely blessed my soul. I was quiet because I needed this. Um, so thank you, ladies, for blessing me. I needed to listen because I've had some weak moments lately to where we talked about it earlier, where we respond to things that we shouldn't. I guess getting off our thrones to address peasants, I guess, more so your words, Melissa. So I definitely needed this. It also made me realize there was an event that I was planning about 3 years ago, and I said I wasn't going to touch it. But this podcast was confirmation that I need to touch it. And what it is, it's honoring 100 Black women. So this is, I think it's definitely needed. And so thank you. Again, I am the owner of Divine Designs Event Planning and Decor LLC. I actually stopped doing my business because of the lack of support or people not wanting to pay me what I feel that I'm worth. So I was like, it's no need for me to even continue on. It's a waste of my time and I can't get my time back. But if you'd like to support me, you can visit my business page at Divine Designs Event Planning and Decor LLC. I also have a website. It's divinedesignsevents.co. That's co, not com at the end. Anything that I post on my business Facebook as well as my personal Facebook, my name is Brittany Haynes on there. Just share it. You may not be able to afford my services, but just sharing my business word of mouth would definitely be a blessing to me. I'm getting ready to step out on faith again with it and do a revamp of it. So all support is needed and appreciated. And thank you, Melissa, because you know it's past my bedtime because I got to be to work early in the morning. But I am grateful that I took advantage of joining you, ladies. And again, thank you to each and every one of you that's on this call for blessing my soul. Thank you.
Thank you. Sharon, how can we support you?
Well, Doc, sometimes it's not necessarily supporting me. You just keep on living your truth and keep on doing what you ladies are doing because you never know who is watching you, right? And just let's tell you this real quick. Two little situations happened. One happened yesterday and one happened today. I happened to go to get a massage sometime earlier this year, and I saw some Christmas ornaments or something. And it wasn't even holiday season yet. She was just decorating the office. And I commented on the decorations, and the young lady was working there. She sent me an email today to tell me because of what I said to her, she's stepping out on faith and she's starting her own business, right?
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and she wanted to make me a personalized ornament just to tell me thank you. And when she makes that and sends it, I'm going to make sure I share it on your page, Doc. You can share it with everyone else. And then I had another young lady, because in the position that I hold with the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, I went to speak somewhere and her mom was there and she didn't know what she wanted to do when she was graduating college. And she said that I inspired her so much because she's never met a Black woman in my position. Or I was like, what? Are you kidding me? And now she wants to be a real estate agent. And she went to school. She called yesterday and said, I passed my test. How can I come and follow you, shadow you, for you to be my mentor? So, ladies, just continue doing what you're doing because you never know who's watching you. And Brittany, whatever you need to do, honey, we're all here to support you because you have worth, okay? And do not compromise because someone else does not see your value. You see your value, all of us see your value, and the right person will see your value. Tracy, my heart goes out to you.
Thank you.
Okay, okay. At the end of the day, you will always be daddy's little girl. You will miss him forever and a day, but you will not always be sad. Veronica, I can't wait to get on your website and buy some of them fabulous things. Okay. And Danette, I'm sure we're related somehow, somewhere.
I know, we're Henry. That's who we are.
Right. Okay, I know we are related somewhere, somehow. And I will figure out how to get some of that wallpaper and the wrapping paper and all of that stuff. And Simone, you and I are going to be BFF. All right, I can see that already. But Doc, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And how you really, really can support me is spread the word about democracy and housing. And go to NAREB, the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, and connect. You do not have to be in real estate. If you are Black and you are interested, you live in a house. Okay, that's all I got to say. All right, in order for you to even be able to own a house and own a property, they are the group that did that. And as I ascend and up the leadership ladder, whether it is Friday or not, because yes, I'm running for the third vice president of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. But if that's not God's will for me at the moment, someday, trust and believe, I will make it up that ladder. But
so she's the regional VP right now. So I'm the local board president of Jacksonville, and she's my regional vice president. So that's when I said, I'm looking up to her because I want to eventually get into that leadership up in that level.
You will. I promise you. But thank you, ladies, so much. Thank you for having me tonight. I really do appreciate you. And thank you for feeding my soul. Thank you.
Thank you. Simone.
Simone, you're muted.
You're muted. There you go. You muted yourself back. Now.
I know I was telling you to unmute me. I was like, unmute me. But the, I'm always this time of day, I always find myself like starting to run down. And I can say, now I'm gonna have to figure out how to, after this call, right, how to wind myself back down, because now you guys have got me so full of energy. I may actually go and put up my Christmas tree. Um, but when I think about how can you support me, I think for me it's kind of twofold. So my fiance, we kind of did this book. I don't know if y'all can see this, and it's there it is. It's the Black owned business planner. And so it's a CEO DNA blueprint. And so what's so awesome about this is that one, you can get it on Amazon, but also we have another site, which is Franchising While Black, and it promotes Black franchises and Black business. And what's great about this book is it's really a journal and a roadmap for anybody any age that wants to be in business and create business, because a lot of times we say, oh, I want to have a business, and we jump out there, and sometimes those businesses fail because we don't think all the way around it, because you don't know what to think. And so that's what's great about this book, is that it really is it's a tool. It doesn't have a timeline. Like any journal, you can start it, stop it, go back, and you'll get there in your time. But again, it's the Black owned business journal. It's franchisingwhileblack.com. We've got t-shirts, ownership, which speaks to you, Doc, ownership versus slaveship. And so those are some of our
Hotep. That's my guy. Hotep says that. That's Hotep's thing. One of our educators. He's really big.
So that's really, for me, that's and again, just during this season, just there's so much loss, and there's so much hurt that permeates, and people really feel so deep during this season. And I would say, the biggest thing to support not only me but us in our community is to really don't wait to reach out and to be in touch with people who cross your mind. Just when you feel it, do it.
That's true. That's so true. So yes. So I want to say how you ladies, how you guys can support me is to, as the ladies have said, let's keep continuing to support one another first. You don't have to know somebody to support them. I know Chantel said earlier, I supported the young lady's lashes. I'll never wear them, but I just want to support her business. And so let's continue to support one another. Let's be the change that we want to see. And I am somebody that is all things real estate. And so I teach real estate. If you're looking to get your license in the state of Florida, I'm also a real estate broker, but I also help people buy and sell and invest in real estate here in Florida. I'm licensed in Georgia, but I got to have Sharon teach me about Georgia law because it's different from Florida. I've passed the test.
I got you, girl.
I also want you guys to support our national nonprofit, Black Educators Rock. Everybody was impacted by an educator. Everybody. And so, and if you're Black, it was definitely a Black educator that impacted you. And so we want you just to support us, go to our nonprofit, our website, and do a monetary donation, $5. No amount is too small. Send an educator a word of encouragement during these times. They are going through hell right now, right? A lot of them are losing people. And we just donated some money to Louisiana. They saw 2 major disasters. They had 2 hurricanes back to back in the midst of COVID. You have teachers living in tents who are still working. And so we donated some money. We did a donation drive for them. And so support educators. That's another way that you can help me, because Black Educators Rock, and they're working hard, and most times they're parents too. And so those are the ways that you can support me, and also support all my ladies and all those other people who support their Black owned businesses. And so I'm always excited when I get the black women bosses in their own right. So I want to thank each of you for joining me tonight. I want you to enjoy the rest of your day, Tracy.
Now, before we go off, I will be remiss if I didn't even mention what I actually do at night I also an educational consultant. See, don't be so in your pain and your grief until you miss the mark. And so I just learned that lesson just now, so I'm circling back around. And so Doc and I, and she said we do a lot of things in education, but I'm all over group, all over consulting solutions. I'm reinventing my business. I'm the CEO and I work and I help small school systems. Particularly, my focus has been on online with online education and remote learning. And I have a couple clients that I do a lot of things for. So I am on Facebook right now. I am redesigning my web page, so that'll be coming out shortly. And I will be planning an event coming up soon. It will be a virtual event, and I will be bringing all types of businesses together so that we can share out and collab with one another. And you guys will be hearing about that real soon.
And I would be remiss to say that we actually have a consulting group, Tracy and I, with other top educators in the country. We actually have a global consulting consortium. So we have top educational experts across the country and abroad that have joined forces to create a consortium. And so we come to large districts. We can do whole school systems.
Absolutely.
Definitely reach out to us as that relates to that as well. And so we want to bid you all a happy Winning Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your Winning Wednesday. And thank you, all my divas, for joining me. Have a great night.
Welcome. You too. Doc, could you make sure that you put all of their information and everything on their websites and stuff in your Facebook? Yeah, because I can't see it right now. So on your Facebook thing, so when I go back and watch it, I can see your Facebook
yes,
stuff.
ma'am. I've been putting them in this week. Yes, I have.
And then I can share it. All right. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you guys. Good night.
Y'all, good night.
Thank you for having me.
Good night.
Doc, we may have to grab a Brittany for our planning.
Oh, girl, when I tell